Christopher Rufo has this report. It says, the new animated film for kids, Mama Has a Mustache, is sponsored by AbbVie, which is the pharmaceutical company that sells the chemical castration drug Lupron to convicted pedophiles and, quote, transgender children. A little bit more on this animated film, which is sponsored not just by this pharmaceutical company, but by others as well. But first, let's watch the, I guess this is the trailer for this piece of propaganda. Watch.
So, what's the first question?
Can you be a girl and have a boy body, or be a boy and have a girl body?
Yes, that's transgender.
Can this person be a parent?
Yes, my dad. I feel like I'm not really a boy or a girl. Because like God isn't. I love myself. Mama has a mustache. Mommy has a mustache.
By the way, I was curious about the film itself, this propaganda film, and I went to look up where can you find it. Not that it's a something that I would enjoy watching, but it is something that I'm interested to see for the purposes of debunking it. And it's not available. Like you have to. They kind of keep it under lock and key. They're not making it widely available to everybody, which is not a surprise because that's exactly what they don't want. Exactly what they don't want is someone like me watching it and going through it and picking it apart. So you can access it, but you got to sign. You have to basically fill like an application form to access the film. Although we've seen enough from it just based on that. And it will never fail to just absolutely disgust and infuriate me when I see any kind of propaganda like this, but especially, you hear one of the children, one of the abused children being exploited for this thing, say, well, I love myself, which is good, right? Because you should love yourself. And we should teach our children to love themselves and accept themselves for who they are. That's an important message. Because the other option is self-loathing. The other option is to want to reject who you naturally are. And yes, we should be teaching our kids to love themselves, but that is exactly what this kind of propaganda does not teach. It teaches the opposite. Under the guise of loving yourself, it actually teaches kids to hate themselves, to hate who they are, to try to destroy who they actually are, with drugs and surgery if necessary, for the sake of obtaining some kind of image, an image that they didn't even come up with, an image that was given to them by the propagandists, by the groomers. Breitbart has more on this story. It says a pro-transgender propaganda film for children called Mama Has a Mustache was sponsored by Bayer, a pharmaceutical company that produces drugs that are used to feminize men who identify as transgender. Mama Has a Mustache is all about normalizing transgenderism, particularly in the minds of one group of people, and that is young children. The film's website bears the phrase, "Kids Talk Gender," directly above the trailer, which starts with the child being asked, can you be a girl and have a boy body or be a boy and have a girl body? We heard that. The synopsis of Mama Has a Mustache leaves no room for doubt about the film's intentions to mold the minds of young children. The film is driven completely by audio interviews of kids ages 5 to 10 and explores how children are able to experience a world outside of the traditional gender binary. And of course, we're supposed to be getting the child's perspective, but we're not actually getting the child's perspective. We're getting these children repeating the propaganda that's been fed to them. So we're getting adult disseminated propaganda fed through the mouths of children. Kids didn't come up with any of this. Kids didn't come up with gender identity. Kids didn't come up with the idea that you could be a girl in a boy's body. No child developed that idea. That was developed by the groomers and the predators, and kids are being made to repeat it. But the point here is that you've got, it seems, at least 2 pharmaceutical companies that are behind this film that have helped to sponsor it. And we see again where the left's this pose they strike of being critical of corporations and skeptical of big money influence and all of that reveals itself to be just that, a pose. That's all it is. I wish it were true. And I think for a long time the right bought into this too much. They bought into this, this notion that the left is like demonizing corporations and demonizing rich people. And I think simply demonizing corporations and demonizing rich people is simplistic. But I wish that it was true. I wish that was the mistake that the left made. It was like being overly simplistic in their condemnations of money and rich people and corporations. I wish that was true. But it's not true at all, of course. Because if you are going to be skeptical of billion-dollar corporations, the first place you should be looking and the first place where you should be directing that skepticism is to the pharmaceutical industry. Doesn't mean all drugs that the pharmaceutical industry produces are bad, necessarily. I think a lot of them are. They're not all bad. But this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that makes all that money, not just by treating sickness, but by convincing people they are sick so that they can then treat it. And this comes in many forms, and it includes, most nefariously and insidiously, the convincing children that they're sick with this gender dysphoria, so that then can be treated by the drugs they provide. And that'll do it for this portion of the show. As we move over to the members block, hope to see you there. If not, talk to you tomorrow. Godspeed.